I'm going with it. I don't
Okay,
care what Bauman says. He's not here anyway.
let's hear it.
I forgot my laptop, which
Yeah, I know.
don't really need that. Uh,
No, you don't. I mean, you
yeah,
can just join on your phone.
right. All
It's not
right.
like he has to look at a screen to like look at the agenda or anything.
Yeah, he doesn't anyway. Okay, start recording, and here we go.
Welcome to Stuck in Beta. Here's our hosts, Greg, Josh, and Josh.
Hey, thank you. Well, Josh B is not here today.
Only one Josh.
Yeah, only one Josh. He couldn't make it because he doesn't have his laptop, and like
Yeah,
we were saying earlier, you don't need your laptop. You can
no, not in
use your
this business.
phone.
Yep.
He's not doing any of the recording or live. He's not doing anything except the talking.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which is really all it's about. So,
yep.
and we're not, and you and I aren't honestly that great at it. So,
No. We come on, we have like 3 listeners, so
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
it only took us 177 shows to get that many. So,
Funny thing is, over the weekend for Father's Day, we were at my mom's, and my aunt was asking me. She's like, "Do you still do your thing that thing that you would come up on Facebook? What's that thing that you would do?"
your
And
thing.
I'm like, "The podcast? Yeah, yeah, yeah." She's like, "I don't see you on there anymore. I don't ever see it pop up." And I'm like, "Oh, we don't record through, or we don't it's not live on Facebook anymore, I guess, right?"
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is?
She's probably not friends with the Stuck in Beta. She probably saw it when it was coming up on your page. Remember how we used to share it under our
Oh,
own accounts?
yeah. I guess I should do that. Or I
Yeah.
just need to find the link and share it with her afterwards.
Yeah.
Hmm. Anyway, yeah, so Father's Day was this past weekend.
Yeah.
Do anything exciting?
We went to the Shack, one of my favorite breakfast places. We took my father-in-law and then my, obviously my mother-in-law and my couple of my nephews were there, and we waited probably about an hour and a half for a table.
Oh,
Yeah, it
man.
was a long time.
So was it still breakfast time?
Yeah, it was. Well, I would say it was more brunch
Yeah.
by the time
Hmm.
we got seated and eaten. But it was funny. We saw my brother Jeff there. We
Oh,
saw,
really? You didn't
yeah,
even know he was going to be there?
yeah. Well, actually, we saw Wendy there, my sister-in-law, and then she goes, "Oh, hey guys, we're waiting for a table too. They told us 90 minutes or 75 minutes or something. I don't know."
Hmm.
So, well, it's not only is it Father's Day where restaurants are going to be busy. It's also you're only using every other table too.
Yeah.
So
So that's interesting, though. I mean, I guess there was a pretty good, um, pretty good turnout from what it sounds like. Because I don't know, I've been kind of curious what it looks like outside of my immediate area here in Jefferson, or your area in Jefferson County, where it's not. It doesn't seem like places are all that busy, but I haven't been to too many places. We went to Main and Mill again, just for the heck of it, and it's local and close, and um, they open at 11, and we walked right in, got a spot. It was no big deal, but the crowd like was steady, I guess, but they were doing the every other table as well. But
well, you also got there when they opened, so
right,
that helps.
yeah, it definitely did, but I was just it's interesting that there is that long of waits out in places, because I would imagine that or I would have thought, I guess, that people were a little bit more cautious. But of course, you and I are out, so I don't
It's
know.
it's different here than it is. I'm sure. Well, I guess our area too. It's different than the further north you get.
Hmm.
It you wouldn't even think that there was a problem if you went to the grocery store or something down here. No one.
Hmm.
I mean, there are some people wearing masks, but most of them aren't. You
Yeah.
know, but the further north you go, the further closer to St. Louis, the more people are, wearing a mask and everything.
Yeah, we went to Lowe's off of Loughborough last weekend, and we didn't have our masks with us. And we're like, okay, we had a couple things we had to get, and man, I felt really awkward because like 90% of the people had masks on there, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be thought of as like it's a political statement that we're
Yeah,
not wearing masks. But it just felt really uncomfortable not having a mask on there.
yeah. When I'm wearing, I don't know. When I'm wearing mine though, I'm not. I don't think I really pay attention to anyone who's not wearing theirs. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. I don't know.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm not that. I don't know. It's just weird. Maybe I'm not one of those that really even notices.
Judges.
Yeah, or judges, or like, oh yeah, I do have mine on. Sir. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe it's just something like that.
So speaking of masks, yesterday I went to my work I was on site for a couple hours for the first time since early March.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah. And so it's a policy. So I have a new employee and she hadn't been on site yet. So we arranged for her to get a tour. And the the policy is that you have to wear a mask. So I had a mask on, and then we have safety glasses, and then I didn't have a hat on like I do now, and my hair is quite long because I haven't gotten it cut since early March. And I'm walking around, and we uh, so we went into a couple places in the production area, and so the first guy that we introduced this my new employee to, I popped my head and I said, "Hey, Mike," and he just kind of looked at me and he said, "Hello," and then he like looked away immediately, and I was like, "That was weird." And after we like said our greetings or whatever, we walked away. I said to the group that I was with, I said, "I don't think he recognized me," and they said, "Yeah, I don't think he did either." And then one guy that was giving the tour, he goes, "Actually, I didn't recognize you when you came walking in the front of the building." And I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Well, your hair is like really long, and yeah, I mean, you have a mask on." So, um, and then like we went a little further down, and we went into this one lab, and I was talking to this chemist who I've known literally for like 20 years. I've talked to him numerous times. I talked to him like when I was there. I would see him in the hall. We would have a conversation all the time. Introduced the new employee to him. They have their like hellos and everything. And then he says, "And you are," and I was like, I pulled my mask down. I'm like, "Dude, it's me." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, I totally didn't even recognize you." That was such a weird
That's
feeling.
funny. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean the
So yeah,
mask.
the hair's getting pretty long, man. It's like I'm going on 4 months now without a haircut.
Yeah, I
So
guess, but it also, I mean, with the mask too, it really covers up a
yeah.
lot. It,
Yeah, I think, most of those people see each other every day. And those of us who are working remotely, like we haven't been on site at all. So you probably get accustomed to seeing people, you know, with,
just their
through
eyes.
their, yeah. And you get accustomed to their eyes and, whatever.
So, when you have meetings, do you have your cameras on and all that? Have I asked you this before?
No, I don't think you have, but I think it's an interesting conversation because no, at my company, it's like almost 0% of the time do we use our cameras.
They're starting with us. I mean, some people do already, but I'm not one of them.
Hmm.
And they're kind of saying, well, we kind of want you to start doing that more.
Really?
Yeah. And for me, it's part of it is I have a laptop and it's docked with 2 monitors. So the laptop's closed. That's where my camera is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to open it up and,
Oh gosh.
I don't want to mess with all opening
Yeah.
things. Come on.
That sounds really rough.
It's ridiculous. So I haven't turned it on yet, and I haven't heard anything. So until I actually hear something, because me and this other guy who work at home, we've been messaging back and forth. He goes, we both are like, I don't really, I'm not going to do it until he says it. I go, me neither,
Yeah.
And today they did a new thing saying that your profile picture in Office and our Teams and all that, we have to have our professional profile picture. I never had a picture at all on there. It just had my initials. But some people had like I don't know, like a Star Wars figure or like Yoda
Right.
or they'd have a
Yeah.
Transformer or something, something geeky or
Yeah.
whatever. So now now it's more you have to have a professional picture of yourself.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's funny that you have that I guess that opinion of it, because so there's only been a couple of times when I've been on a call or in a meeting where we've used our cameras, and I've found that to be a lot more I guess the conversation seems to flow a little bit better, and you can see people's reactions, so it's kind of that three-dimensional. You can read people's body language and
yeah.
kind of see when they have a question or when they're getting ready, just like we're doing right now. Like I can see that you're completely bored with this. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
But
You're not even paying attention.
Yeah. Get off your phone. No, I've told my boss, I said, you should maybe encourage, our group to do that. And he's like, oh, I haven't really wanted to, push the issue. It's not really, our organization as a whole hasn't really gone down that road. So, I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, so I'm like, okay, well.
All they got to do is make sure they're dressed,
Yeah, I know.
You know.
That's kind of what I was,
Well, you don't
if
even have to have pants on,
Exactly. Yeah, even if you don't even have to like fix your hair, really. I mean,
Yeah, no one really cares. They know you're at home.
right. And you're wearing a t-shirt. I mean, I wear I dress just like I am right now because I just got off work a little bit ago. So
yeah,
I wouldn't care if people were seeing me in a hat and a t-shirt.
What are they gonna care?
Right. But yeah, I've tried to get my group to. I've gone on. I've put myself on video with my group a few times and tried to get people to join me, and it's like people feel really strongly against it, and I don't know why.
I don't know.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
I don't know. I guess I just don't. I don't know.
Well, you pointed out earlier that you look like you're in a little girl's room, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, like I said, the camera angle that the live stream sees just sees a bunch of boxes and my monitors, but the camera you see sees a little girl's kitchen and toys and dollies and stuff. ABCs on the wall. So, and that's really if I open my laptop, which is sitting right on beside me, that's the background they would see.
It's my creative studio. It's where I go to blow off steam.
They'd be like, "Where are you at?" I'm in. This is my office.
That's the thing that's another thing that my boss had said. He goes, people sometimes they have to work in environments that are, not really like if they're working in a laundry room which I'm thinking, who's doing that? I don't know. But I mean, to each their own, I guess. It depends on your own, house and your living situation. You might be in like a closet or something, but I don't know.
I can see that because that may be just the quietest place in the house. You know, you could have a bunch of kids running around, dogs barking, and that's just the quietest place. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, speaking of dogs, she's trying to get to the door. I think she's had enough outside time for right now. I'm gonna go let her in.
Oh, we're going with you.
Yeah.
Hey, while you're up, what do the hops look like?
I didn't get yeah, you want to see that?
It's not tied, it's just a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess. I didn't get string yet, but I'll walk you over here and we can see it. So let's see. I gotta tilt it way down or look. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, it's kind of a stringy mess.
It's just a bunch of vine laying on the ground there, huh?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I never did string it up this season yet.
Oh, well, you know, we haven't really brewed in a long time either, so what are we going to do with the hops?
I know. You probably still have some in your freezer.
I don't know if that made the move. I don't know if it did or not.
Huh.
Because I had some. I don't know. I'll have to look. Because it may have been like, man, this will never, you know, I don't know if I'm going to have time to use this because we had to put everything in coolers, and I don't know if I did the hops and all that. I don't know if it needed to be frozen. I wonder how long hops actually last.
Yeah, I think we looked that up once before, and it was like it suggested just 12 months or something like that. What I really need to do is divide those hops up.
6 to 12 months. Yep.
Yeah. What I need to do is divide that one, that rhizome or whatever it's called. I need to divide that up and put it in and put my stringers back up next year, and then have it going up two sides.
Yeah.
It's pretty massive. But
well, I mean, I got a tall area too. You know,
that's true.
Be really. I've got a cliff on the outside of my. Have it go all the way down. I don't know if that would work. Someone would come around and get it.
Yeah.
Like if I grew it from the top and let it hang down.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would work.
I'm not sure. But speaking of growing things, so you shared a few pictures of your items that in your garden.
Yeah.
Seems like it's going pretty well.
Tomatoes, and I have a little pepper in there.
So my tomatoes have been doing pretty well now. They're putting on quite a few. I should have showed you those while I was over there, but we planted 4 cucumber plants, 4 squash plants, and 4 zucchini plants.
Oh, that's gonna be a mess.
Well, they haven't. The thing is nothing has taken off.
Really?
Like they're barely bigger than the little seedling plants that that we got from Bayers. Yeah. So every once in a while, like I'll notice they're flowering, and I'm like, and then the day or two later, the flower will be gone, and then I'm like, what the heck is going on? And there's no sign. The one I've got a little garden up on my hill that I fenced in and everything, so I know it's not rabbits or deer. And then, one day I'm out here, I'm looking at it, and Yoshi's with me, and then she darts into this little like thick area of daylilies that I have, and next thing I know, a little chipmunk shoots out and climbs up the tree. So, and then I saw another one today over by where I just took you to the hop plants. So I've got chipmunks now in my yard, and they say, I don't know, there's a lot of different remedies, some are humane, some are not, about getting rid of chipmunks. So I think that's what's going on. They say that whenever plants are small and like they have fresh leaves and fresh flowers, the chipmunks like to eat that, and you won't even really notice the damage until you're realizing that it's not, it's not taking off, it's not growing.
I used to see that all the time, especially with my peppers, because they're shorter.
Mm-hmm.
And I would see like one day I'll be like, all right, it's flowering. That means something's going to grow there. And then the next day Like, wait, or a couple days later, I'm like, wasn't there a flower? Where'd it go? The
Yep.
tomatoes are usually a little higher before they start flowering, so that may be why they can't reach them. I mean,
Yep. I think
maybe.
that's right. Yeah, I guess that's what's going on. But so another like remedy, I know you had in the past that bird netting,
Yeah,
and they say if you stake that down really good and have it, anchored to the ground all the way around, that they won't be able to go through it,
but
but
it's
they could
such
always burrow under it.
oh, and it's such a pain for you to get into it too.
Hmm.
You're like,
Yeah.
okay, I got to tend to my vegetables or whatever. Oh, I got to take all this off, and
Hmm.
that's a pain. I put marigolds around the whole perimeter of the garden,
Yeah.
and supposedly that's supposed to keep away some insects and rabbits. I don't know if it does, but it's doing pretty good. And I have that raised garden, so it's a little bit
Hmm.
higher. So
Yeah. I would imagine that chipmunks would still be able to get in a raised garden because they can climb up a tree, so they
yeah,
should be able to climb that. But you may not have that problem since you don't have woods directly behind you. But
we do have snakes that like to hang out on that cliff that's right behind my
mm,
house
mm-hmm,
because it's all rocky. So they're
mm,
probably lot of them hang out on the side. Because I've seen a few, usually black snakes, so they're not. They're
mm.
good. They're probably eating the chipmunks. So I've seen one eating another snake too in her backyard. It was pretty cool. Like two of
Really?
them, yeah. They're just going to get yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was like a black snake eating some brownish snake. I don't know what
Huh?
that was, but
It could have been a copperhead because I know I've heard that they're the natural like enemies or predators of each other.
really.
Well, yeah, the black snake of the copperhead, not the other way around.
Oh well,
Hmm.
the black snake was winning. So
Yeah, you definitely don't want to kill those. We saw one of those in our yard too, and it was around the same area that I saw the chipmunk. But evidently, they're living together because they were in the exact same spot.
they're friends.
Couple, yeah, they're like, you can handle the vegetables, I'll take care of this other thing. But
I
yeah, that's the one thing that's driving me nuts this year is I feel like I'm trying to like do more with my backyard, and it's nature's working against me.
it's not doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that sucks.
So what kind of beer are you drinking there?
This is a center ice uh, revolving pale ale series. This is series 2. I don't know if I had this on here before. It's got Columbus and Mosaic hops in it.
Hmm,
Pretty
that
tasty.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I'm slumming it this week. I'm drinking one of these.
Mick Ultra as well.
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, we went to the beach. We went to Raintree Beach, Lori and I, and we picked up. She's like, "Well, we better pick up some. We have is bottles of beer." She's like, "We better pick up some cans," and she just wanted something light. And the local grocery store here doesn't have much of a selection. So they had a 12 pack of those Mick Ultra cans, and I got something else, something a lot more flavorful. And so we've had a bunch of these Mick Ultras left over. Well, funny thing is, I think I mentioned that I tried this beer. It's the Goose Island. It's the IPA that's like the very low calorie, very low alcohol. I forget the name of it now.
Okay.
But Lori, like she's always hated IPAs. She can't stand everything tastes piney or it's too citrusy or whatever. Um, but she tried one of those and she really likes it because it's really light.
Yeah.
And so now
S-
she's gone back.
so low?
Yeah, yeah. So she's gone back now to the spirit shop here and gotten at least 2 6 packs of it.
Oh,
And
really?
so yeah, it's interesting because it's an IPA, but it's really light.
Uh huh.
So it's kind of the gateway. I mean, she took a drink of, and it's funny because this whole craft thing has been her evolution has been so slow compared to like yours and mine.
Yeah.
she used to be, Bud Light and Bud Light Lime. Bud Light Lime was, the thing for years and years. And then she started getting into the stouts, and now she's always turned her nose up at IPAs. And I had something else recently. It was at Main and Mill. They have oh gosh, what's the IPA they have on draft right now? But anyway, it's pretty strong. It's like 7%. And she took a drink of it and she's like, that's not bad. So she's come a long way.
She's coming along.
Yeah.
Man, that's so low as 98 calories and 3% ABV. Yeah. So it's basically you're going to drink a lot of those.
I said it was light.
It's a Nat Light version of of an IPA.
Yeah, I think when we had Denny on a couple weeks ago for
we asked him about that.
Yeah, he was saying it's really hard to create those because you're trying to throw all the hops in there, and then it's really hard to get the gravity right, and without compromising the flavor, you have to have some of that alcohol too. So,
but it sounded like he was for it. Him and the bike club or whatever that meet there every week, they were trying to get something together.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll see. I think it sounded like they were going to do that, and then Corona happened and everything kind of slowed down.
Yeah, I'm definitely down with those lighter beers, though. If they can put flavor in them and it still be like right now, they're at Main and Mill. They have on draft. It's it's some kind of a brown, but it is super light too. It's like right at 4%, and I think it's pretty good. I mean, you don't want in the summertime you don't want heavy beers, and but it's nice to find things that have a different flavor, and they're not high alcohol.
Yeah.
And high calorie.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to watch those calories.
I don't know. The problem is, I'll drink those, but I'm not going to stop drinking stouts with, all the good stuff in it that are 12%.
No, but you got to have a little bit of balance there. You can't drink. I find that I can't drink those all the time.
You're not going to go to the beach and drink an Abraxas.
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
You need a nap.
So last week I was telling you I got my truck.
Yeah.
I got a big old stereo system in it now. Yeah.
With some 12-inch woofers?
No, I just replaced the head unit, and I put a backup camera on there as well. But the hardest, so it comes. You should have seen the mess of wires that I had. So, you've used one of those harness kits before, where you hook the new radio to this harness, so it'll just plug right into your new I have a Ford, so it'll plug right into it without any issue.
Right.
Well, that's normally what you would do, but since I have steering wheel controls and a backup camera and all this other stuff, you add this other feature called a Maestro, which you have to program using a computer and tell it, okay, I want the volume up, control the volume up. I want volume down to do this. And then you can say, if you hold down volume down, go to this menu on the head unit. And so anyway, there's tons of different combinations. So I programmed that. You hook that up, and then there's another mess of wires that all connect. And then, so I wasn't planning. This radio comes, it's a Sirius. It's Sirius XM ready, and I wasn't planning on getting it, but they had a whole. You get $70 rebate basic if you buy this tuner, so it was basically free. So I'm like, well, might as well get it now, because if I want it later, then it's built in. And so I had to throw that in there. That's another thing that's fitting in there. So the hardest part was taking all these wires from different points, running them through channels in the truck to get to the back of the head unit, because I had to take the backup camera, which had to run through the well, it's like a your tailgate handle. It's built into that. You just basically replace your tailgate handle, and the cord runs underneath the truck and up underneath where the floorboard is on the driver's side, and then you run it into the stereo. So I had to do that, a GPS antenna, a Sirius antenna, and a microphone.
Jeez.
So it took me a long time to do all this. And I don't know how all those wires fit back into the thing, but I plugged it all in. It worked, and it's pretty exciting. It is. I've never had a radio. This has HD radio too. Do you have any radios with that? Basically, your FM stations. Some of them do an HD signal, which I don't even think it stands for high def. But like the album art for the whatever's playing comes up, and the logo of the radio station comes up, like different things like that. So it's kind of cool. And it's got Android Auto built in, so any Android app and Apple CarPlay is built in. It's got all the fun features.
Man, that's cool. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit over the weekend before you got, all your equipment and everything. And that would be really nice to have, but I'm like at a crossroads where I feel like that my cars are both I have a 2012 and a 2014, I think. And they both have over 100,000 miles on them, and I'm like, do I invest that into them? How long will I have them? It's kind of like I'm at the point. I bought them both. I mean, we didn't buy them new, but we bought them both. They were only a couple of years old, and now I feel like we've had them forever. And I'm like, do I want to put that kind of work into them?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, but you just got yours, so it's like
and mine's a 2012, so
yeah,
over 100,000 miles. I mean, it depends. If you're looking to get something new or another used vehicle or something like that, then probably not. But I'm like, since I just bought this, I'm the same way. I had that Toyota for so long, but like halfway through its life, I think I would have I should have upgraded, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Then it got just, I'm like, this is 10 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like my truck, it doesn't have any of those steering buttons or anything like that. Lori's car does, but mine is pretty bare bones.
Yours would be real easy.
Yeah.
And yours has the single DIN radio. It's not a double. It's not.
No, I think mine is a double DIN.
It is?
So it could do something a little fancier. It probably could do like a backup camera and all that sort of thing. But and hers has a double DIN. But yeah, I don't know. I've just kind of gotten used to. I pretty much listen to podcasts almost exclusively when I'm in the car.
Well, you can listen to them through that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's cool, though. I mean, I haven't tinkered around with it. Well, I think I replaced one of the stereos in one of my kids' cars. And I bought, I remember back in the day trying to cut corners and not buy those harnesses.
Oh, and you just clip everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just dumb. Why did we do that?
I don't know.
I remember, like, we'll just cut this off, snip. when you could have bought for $12 or something, buy a harness where it just plugs in. You don't have to go, because the factory colors are always way off from the any rate. All the radio, Sony, JVC, all of them are the same colors, pretty much. Oh, by the way, this is a Kenwood that I ended up buying anyway.
Okay.
And JVC and Kenwood are the same company now. Oh. That's how little I know about car stereos anymore.
Yeah, back in the mid to late 90s, or I guess early to mid 90s, really. That was all the rage, man. It didn't matter how old your car was, how much of a beater it was. It was like new head unit.
Oh, I know.
Upgrading whatever size. I remember that was like, I didn't know the first thing about my engine,
I know.
It was kind of like pimp your ride, you know. You made it all nice, but like, when was the last time you got an oil change? I don't know.
Oil? You put gas in it.
Yeah.
Now listen to these tunes. Yeah.
and then you had, what was that you had a Ford Tempo. What year was that?
The red one, the red car.
Yeah.
That was, I think it was like an 87 or 88, something like that.
Wasn't that the one that had the 6x9s in the back dash or whatever? And my mom would be like, "Oh my gosh, I can hear him like half a mile away."
I know. Yeah, well, I probably transplanted a lot of that stuff out of, because the Sunbird I had first, and then I moved stuff over when that got total. But yeah,
you were all about it there for a while.
Oh yeah, and I put a cassette player because I couldn't afford, back in the day, CD players were like $250 or something, and the cassette players were like maybe $100. So I'm like, there's no way I can afford CD, and I had more cassettes anyway. So, but yeah. And then we had the old little CD Discman or whatever variation. You plug the cassette in and plug the CD player into that.
Remember that when that technology came along, that it like read the CD, like, remember every version was getting better and better. It was
the
like,
skips. Yeah,
it read it like 3 seconds in advance, and then it read it like 10 seconds in, something like that, and it would be anti-skip.
Yeah, and you'd sit there and shake mine and go, "See, it doesn't skip," or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool, because I think I had a really an early model that was cheap, and it skipped like every little bump. I would have to like hold it while I drove, just so that it wouldn't skip.
Yeah, I remember that. I built like something to fit in the center of my, like, just this little wood thing for it to sit on in the center of my car. My car was such a mess, but I had, so awesome, the technology, the music and all that. Gotta have that.
Great.
Important.
Yeah, that was great.
Good time.
And we loved it.
Yeah, we loved it, damn it. Progress. Man.
Flippity flew.
Yeah. Oh, good times. So, did you hear? Let's see. Do I have a theme for movies? I can't remember. Did I make a theme for movies?
I can't remember which segment. I know you had
I had a tech segment one.
Yeah.
Oh. I don't have anything.
This week in movies.
Movies! Okay, there you go. Did you hear Michael Keaton is coming back as Batman?
No.
Yeah. So, there is a new Flash movie being made, and in the Flash movie, so it's based off a comic called Flashpoint, where the Flash. So if he runs at a certain speed, he can go back in time. He goes back in time to save his mother, and he changes everything. And one of the things he changes is, instead of, by him doing that, everything else changes. You know how in Back to the Future,
Right.
the whole sports almanac, everything changes. It's kind of the same idea, but in this, then instead of Bruce Wayne's parents being killed, he gets killed and his parents survive. And then his dad, Thomas Wayne, ends up being Batman, and he's using guns, and so there's like lots of alternate timelines. So this may be how he fits in, but they say he's going to be an older Batman, so I don't know. It could also be like so there was a cartoon or animated series, whatever, called Batman Beyond, where Bruce Wayne was an older man, and he was, an old Batman teaching a new guy to be the reins of the Batman. So
So is this still in the DC universe? I
don't know. I mean, like the Joker. Did you ever see the Joker movie? Yeah. So
that's good.
It really didn't take place in anything, It just was its own standalone. And I think this may be its own standalone thing. I don't know. It sounds like they signed him on for multiple movies, though. So
really,
that may mean that he is going to do other stuff.
That's really interesting, because didn't they? So Ben Affleck did the Batman, or he was Batman for a little bit, and then weren't they going to have a new,
Robert Pattinson's going to be the.
Oh yeah.
He's going to be Batman in an upcoming movie. So
yeah.
Apparently they don't match up. I don't know.
That is strange. So is The Flash is a DC comic too?
Yeah.
Okay. Has there ever been a Flash movie?
No.
Okay.
Just there was the TV series in the 90s, and then there was the one going on now. I think it's still going on.
I know. I think it is, and I think it's like 12 seasons or something ridiculous.
And I like that. I may have watched 1 or 2 seasons, but the problem is you had that Green Arrow show, and then you had some other Supergirl, then they all combined, so you had to watch every single thing to be caught up. So I could never stay caught up. It was just too much to watch. So
it was pretty well done, though. I mean, it didn't seem like a, what is it, WB or whatever. It
CW.
Didn't seem like it wasn't low budget. It seemed like it was pretty well produced.
Right. Well, that's what CW became. It's all superhero stuff now.
Oh, okay.
But I thought that was pretty interesting to see him back as Batman.
Yeah.
Because that was probably our first experience as Batman.
Yeah. First
Michael Keaton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
that was in
89.
I was going to say that was about, okay. Yeah. Like 7th grade or something. 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's weird because, the Adam West version of Batman, you could say, but I didn't see Adam West version until that came out, and they started playing reruns of the Adam West version.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember thinking how cheesy it was.
Yeah.
But then you look at the first series, the Michael Keaton Batman, and that seems pretty cheesy compared to the Dark Knight.
Yeah, Uh-oh, someone's talking to you. Or what do you...
No, it was I think it's like a squirrel nest or something is falling from the tree over here.
Oh,
All kinds of craziness going on in my backyard.
crazy stuff.
Yeah. Um, I haven't really been watching a whole lot of anything other than Sneaky Pete. We really
Yeah.
like that show.
I um I'm way behind on Ozark. I'm still on season 2, and
Oh
I
my gosh.
just I just kind of it's one of those shows where I really like, but I don't know, I just have to find the time, and I don't know. I've been watching a few episodes of that this
Hmm.
week, so
Hmm.
and really nothing else. TV's awful now. There's there's no new TV except, I mean, there's stuff on Netflix and all that, but
Yeah. So, do are we? I haven't really paid a whole lot of attention, but have we entered into like a bubble of like no of limited new content
I think we
on?
on network TV, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like network TV and I mean, of course, movies. But I was wondering if we're gonna see that same thing in Netflix and Hulu and you know and everything else.
I don't think we'll see it in movies because they're holding back a lot of movies that would be in theaters. So those will fill the gaps while they shoot new movies. But
Hmm.
TV, I mean, even on like Fox is playing Hell's Kitchen and Master Chef, like ones from two years ago. You
Oh,
know, it's all rerun. I'm like, Molly's like, hey, there's a new Hell's Kitchen, because it's something I normally watch, and
mhm.
I'm like, this is old. I've seen this before, and I realized it was from 2 years ago. So,
Yeah. I've noticed a lot of promos for that game show. I don't even know what it's called, but it has Gronk. Gosh, what is the football player? Gronkowski.
oh, is that the Tag show?
I think so. It looks
Yeah,
so silly.
I've never watched it. It looks kind of like American Gladiators, if you ask me.
Yeah,
But
yeah. But that had to have been filmed months ago, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's not like
oh,
it's
it had
anything.
to have.
Yeah,
And it
it's
may have
like
been something like, I don't know if we're gonna air the it. They're probably TV networks have a lot of stuff that they're
uh-huh.
like, that's not good enough for fall. We'll wait until summer, and it may
Right.
just have been like, well, we got to play something.
Yeah, it's kind of that filler content that they will produce 6 episodes of or whatever,
Yeah.
just to bridge the gap.
Now I found something interesting. Netflix. They have a deal with Dave Chappelle, where he does a lot of his stand up, and they end up on Netflix. Well,
Hmm.
there's a new Netflix or a new Dave Chappelle special, but it's on Netflix's YouTube channel. It's not
Hmm.
on, and it's only, I don't know, about a half hour, maybe a little bit longer. But it was filmed just like 2 3 weeks ago,
Oh yeah.
so it talks about George Floyd, and it talks about protests and Corona and all that, and it's a little more serious
Okay.
than it's pretty interesting seeing his take on everything. There's a few funny. It's Dave Chappelle. There's a few funny parts, but it's more serious. It I would I'd say check it out. It's a pretty interesting thing to see. But I think it's called 846.
Yeah, that's the so that was
Eight,
the amount of time that George Floyd was held down.
yeah, and it's also Dave Chappelle was born at 8:46 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So like both of those, yeah, he's like, I was actually, it's on my birth certificate too. So yeah,
Yeah, I've seen the thumbnails for that, but I didn't realize it was something new. I thought it was just something from the past.
no, it's brand new, and it I
Huh.
looked I tried to find it on Netflix, but it's not on Netflix. It's just on the
Okay.
Netflix YouTube channel. I think it's called Netflix is a Joke, is their YouTube channel where they keep a lot of their
Yeah,
stand up stuff.
yeah. There's oh gosh, the guy who does the show Patriot Act.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know if you've ever watched that
no,
on Netflix, but it's kind of like a mockumentary or whatever. It's no, it's I don't know. He does. It's kind of like he's a stand-up comedian, and he talks about a current event. Um, but he has a bunch of stuff on the Netflix YouTube channel now, and I guess this is kind of their way of putting out new content that maybe they otherwise would have normally shot, in a more of a studio format.
Yeah, I don't know. The Dave Chappelle thing is pretty professionally done. I mean,
Yeah.
but
Does he have an audience?
yeah, it's
Oh,
so he was even talking about some. He goes, "This is going to be history. This is one of the stand up that there's been since this has happened." He goes,
okay.
there's been others where you're in a car and they beep when
Mm,
they want to laugh, or he goes, I don't get that. But yeah, there
yeah.
was they had it was all outside. He was on stage, but everyone in the crowd was like, it was two set next to each other, and everyone was wearing masks. It's
Huh.
pretty interesting. You should check it out. I
Yeah.
know St. Louis's own what's her I just had her name on my
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I can't
Nikki Glazer.
Yeah. Nikki.
Yeah, she did a show at the Helium County Club, and she was saying that you can only be at a table for two or table for four, so only groups of two or four could come in.
Hmm.
And it was kind of the same way. Everyone would have to be in mask and all that, but
Huh. That's weird.
yeah, because she said she's been quarantining at her parents' house here, and she's actually thinking of moving back here instead
Oh,
of
okay.
being in L.A. Or was it New
Yeah.
York she lived? L.A. I don't know. But
Yeah, you've been sharing different things about the music industry and how they're trying to, I guess, go towards trying to get some sort of live performances with people in their cars. That just seems really weird to me.
yeah, yeah. Now on Saturday we checked out Greek Fire. Well, you checked out the last three songs with me, but uh, Greek Fire, the local band, they had a concert at a local venue, the pageant, and put on a show. It was shot professionally. It sounded great, looked great, and it was free. So I don't really understand how this works. I don't know how money gets passed around, or because
There was
something has.
sponsors. Yeah, there was
Yeah,
sponsorships, but I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean, maybe that's all you need, but I don't know. It was a pretty decent show. I mean, a concert being there is different than watching it. I
Yeah,
mean, obviously, there's a little bit more buzz and more excitement when you're there. So,
right.
but we had the projector outside and watched it on the screen. So it was
Yeah,
pretty
I thought
cool.
that was cool. Yeah.
But fun times.
Yeah, and I guess sports are starting to come back. I don't know. The baseball announcement came out, I guess, was it yesterday or the day before that they're going to do a 60 game season starting in late July?
Now, I did not hear that. So
You
late
haven't.
July.
What's that?
Are they going to do like a spring training or any kind of thing like that?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to start right around 4th of July or maybe shortly after. Um, and it's supposed to run just a couple weeks, and then they're supposed to go into like a 60 game season. I don't know any like details regarding, whenever you go to a stadium or how many people are going to be allowed to go to a game or anything like that. I haven't looked at that, but yeah, I guess that's so. What is a season? 162, right?
Yeah, so that's
It's like a third
it's like
approximately.
you know what though? Um is I love baseball, but it is a
Yeah,
long season, and games don't really mean that much.
right.
If you cut 2/3 of the season away,
Yeah,
games are a little bit more important.
yeah.
You need to
Well,
get wins right away.
exactly. Yeah, get off to a hot start. It'll be because normally the All Star break is approximately halfway, and that's right at the beginning of July. So I guess it's past the midway point by the time this will be starting.
Right, and they may spread apart series more or something, and I don't know how they're gonna how. So I guess the stadiums are gonna have to. How are they gonna do that?
I
Like
don't
if they
know.
have people come there, because okay, you have 6 people in your families, for example. Are you going to be able to sit together? Or are they only allowing groups of 4? Or are they only it
Yeah, I want to look into it more because it was just a couple weeks ago that they were saying they didn't think there was going to be a season because owners and players couldn't agree on
yeah.
terms, and yeah, evidently it happened, and so they're moving forward. Although I've heard that there's players that aren't very happy with certain rules and things like that, but because I know there's got to be major roadblocks in place for them. I heard at one point I don't know what they landed on, but I heard at one point they were saying that the players were going to have to be quarantined. Basically, they had to stay together, could not leave like the hotel or whatever that they were assigned to, and they couldn't see their family and all. That was like some of the early, bargaining or
I could see
negotiating.
him not wanting to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I have to look into that, understand more about it. Maybe we can talk more about it next week.
Yeah. That's interesting.
And and I guess the other sports are supposed to start up at some point. Hockey and basketball.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll go to a game, but
Yeah.
I'll be happy to watch them on TV, It's
Right.
been so long, I think hockey's a little ridiculous to start up. That's my opinion, because this would be their off season right now.
Right.
So they're just going to go up until I don't really understand how it's going to work, because July, August, September, October. So you got 3 months, which is normally about the length of their playoff season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't get it.
There's some interesting little side stories that are going on with that. So, like Vladimir Tarasenko for the Blues, he was out the entire season, and he probably wouldn't have came back at all. But now he had that entire time and then some to recover from what I can't remember what his injury was, but now he's like good to go for this little like mini season that's
Yeah.
getting ready to start up.
And since they were halfway through a season, are they going to keep the stats that
I think
is that the
so.
plan?
I think so to a
Like,
degree. I think there's some nuance to it, but I don't know.
they're going to have to cut out some of the playoffs, though. If they're going to start the next season in October, like normal, I don't know.
Yeah, I probably should. We should probably dig into that a little bit too, because I think it was going to be some sort of like round robin tournament where they were all playing at Disney, and then it was like 2 losses and you're out kind of thing. I don't know if that's exactly what the format looks like, but that's the typical format for it's a tournament style format as opposed to a playoff, multi-game series style.
Yeah. I mean, that just means you have one bad game, you're screwed,
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
But in the essence of time, I guess you have to come up with something creative.
Right. But I mean, that's the whole point of best of 7, because you can have a bad game but still
Right.
end up taking it. But well,
Yeah.
that's how
Yeah, the
it
whole
goes.
season. Every one of the sports. I mean, I don't know. Football hasn't been affected yet, but every other sport is going to have an asterisk, of course. That that's the year of
Yeah.
COVID or whatever.
Football may not have a problem. The NFL may be all right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Unless the fall
Right.
brings some other problems.
Yeah, we're dealing with some serious spikes and increases right now. It's pretty
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. I mean, it
But
all.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about
don't
it.
worry about it. You'll be all right. So, well, man, we've been talking for a while now. It's actually been about an hour, so
Cool.
surprising.
Good show.
I am surprised we had stuff to talk about. We didn't really have a list. The only thing I had on my list was Batman, and that literally was it.
Okay, well, you better post this one then.
Oh, and then Halloween is okay. Didn't you know? Hopefully, Halloween happens this year, but Halloween is on a Saturday. There's a full moon, a blue moon, which is that the second full moon in a month. Is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah.
And it falls on the turn back the clock day too.
Oh, very cool.
So lots of fun stuff.
Speaking of dates, we didn't even mention tomorrow's a big one for you.
Oh, my birthday.
Yeah,
I'm turning 23 finally.
That's right.
23, my 20th anniversary of being 23.
That's right. Yeah, I know, man. You're moving right along.
I know. I'll always be behind you, I guess.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but that's cool. Happy early birthday.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to try. I'm taking off Friday. Molly and I are taking off Friday. Millie's going to still go to school, and we haven't decided yet. I mean, Molly's pregnant. She can't really drink, but, I want to go to a brewery.
I don't think.
But Bluewood is Bluewood? That's on Cherokee that I've never been to, and Max Local Eats has the the food there, and they're supposed to be really good.
Yeah, that's the one right by my work. I've been there a couple times.
Yeah, is it good?
Yeah, really good. Really cool environment there. They have some outside areas and inside areas. It's really nice.
Cool. Yeah. By Limp Brewery and whatnot, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think it's called Bluewood. That doesn't sound right. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Maybe it is, though.
Here, I can find... Let's see.
I wish I could commit things like that to memory.
Bluewood Brewing, yeah.
It is Bluewood, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've been there a couple times. It's pretty cool.
All right. Cool. We'll have to check it out.
All right. Have fun.
So until next time, I guess this is the end of the show. We'll see you next time. Where is the outro? There it is. See ya.
See ya.
StuckInBetaPodcast.com